Our district has extraordinary diversity. With regard to the First Amendment, I support the First Amendment, but again, we switched into a completely different set of topics here. I support the First Amendment, but I certainly have serious questions about the Hobby Lobby ruling. But I do think we're starting to conflate two different issues right now.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, one last question.
Yes.
And you are?
I'm Ozzie Ostrander, Hudson Park 503. There was one candidate who wrote an article for the Detroit News, and he made the outrageous suggestion that all legislators should be presented with legislation for, I think he said 2 days to review it before it's voted on, instead of being requested to vote on something and then they can see it. And that candidate was Mr. Bentivolio.
And is there a question there?
The question is, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you need a law that will state that you are presented with the legislation for some period of time before the vote is taken, so that you can actually review it and know what's in it?
I will take that one. I would absolutely agree with you that any bill that's going to be law has to be absolutely read by the congressional people, understood, and then voted on. Because it is politics, I understand that. But to me, I think that should be a must. I think we should actually have a letter, affidavit saying, I've read this law or bill, I've understood this, and now I will vote. So I'm for it. Thank you.
Dave, do you have a comment?
Completely agree, and I have a good friend who was elected to the State House down in Louisiana, and his name is Jay Morris, a good guy, and I said to him, Jay, what do you plan to do in Baton Rouge? And he said, well, Dave, I'm not really sure, but my mantra is going to be, when in doubt, I'm going to do nothing. And the point of the story is Congress rushes things through, doesn't read things, doesn't think things through, rolls out the Affordable Care Act without the website working correctly. It's really a dysfunctional mess, and people should be prepared when they vote on matters and have thought it out and worked on it and tried to come up with the best solution. That's what you do in business.
I'm not sure what precisely Mr. Bentivolio wrote, and it's regrettable he couldn't attend tonight. But I do agree with Dave's recent remarks that things shouldn't be rushed through. The Patriot Act was rushed through. Many members of Congress didn't even read it. How many people in this room are concerned about the government listening in on our phone calls, or reading our emails or our text messages? I am. I'm deeply concerned about this. These sorts of things shouldn't be happening. But they happen when people aren't studying the documents that they're signing. And so there needs to be a healthy review, a healthy discussion. And I think that this is absolutely important. The idea of rushing things through is a mistake, but the idea of slow rolling just because one disagrees is also a mistake.
Well, I think this is, we're all agreeing on something. It's like the Michigan Association of Michigan, that Mike said earlier, that you shouldn't rush things through. And I think that you shouldn't rush through, as one of my supporters here has experienced. 80,000 people were evicted from their homes, and those foreclosures were rushed through by people signing those foreclosure documents when they were, as the Detroit Free Press reported, when they were in comas and dead. Through, the small business. David, you took a jab at me last night saying you wish that I would have done better against President Obama. I gotta say that you grew your business from 6 to 1,800, but I gotta say I know a lot of Michiganders who don't want to see Trott grow any bigger as a foreclosure and eviction empire that it's already become, and a lot of that was rushing through on documents. The people that are right here, here's John, right here, who had his home lost and many other people lost. We made different choices in life. We both went to the University of Michigan. I chose to rebuild communities and literally won a presidential award for doing that. And David Trott, through his foreclosure and eviction business, made a choice to get into that business and to foreclose on a lot of people and ruined a lot of people's lives. And those are the different choices. And then when you're voting, you got to look at what we all chose to do with our life. Thank you.
May I respond to Ms. Skinner's attack very briefly?
Let's get off the personality.
It's not personal.
Let's get off the personal.
I think that we are at a point now where we will adjourn, okay? I thank all of you. Give a roll for applause for a moment. I'd really like to thank all of the people who are on the stage for your fabulous presentations. I would like a round of applause